What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for a review of album number 4, Oh My, by pop band OneRepublic, a pretty highly anticipated follow-up to their 2013 album Native. And I have to say, I was pretty eager to get my hands on this one because I loved Native. I thought it was a really solid pop album. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's enjoyable for what it is, and they really hit the nail on what they were trying to do, I feel like, with their first two albums. With OneRepublic, it's always been more of a single thing for me. I didn't enjoy their full-length albums, and I didn't really feel like they could carry it. But with Native in 2013, I really saw them carrying the torch and saying, okay, we're not just gonna have great singles like Feel Again, If I Lose Myself, and obviously Counting Stars, one of my favorite songs of that year. We're also gonna have deeper cuts like Something I Need, I Lived, Preacher, and Burning Bridges, Au Revoir. There's so many good songs on that album. Seriously, I love going back to it. It's a fun night listen whenever you're driving. And with Oh My, I was excited to see them trying out some new things, some outside instrumentation, a lot of different varied sounds, and obviously a little bit risky with the longer runtime, but I was thinking maybe they can pull it off. Do they? Do they captivate us for an entire hour just on the standard edition of this record over the course of 16 tracks? The simple answer is no. I want to like this album more than I actually do, but it's just so scatterbrained. It's really all over the place. 1 minute it's playing with a weird bass line like on Dream, and then you're going for AI, this epic over-the-top song featuring Peter Gabriel of Genesis, a legendary rock act from the 80s, and then you shift back into some of the stuff that you feel like you might have heard from them before, like Wherever I Go, but adding in more of like an EDM trance to it. I don't know. They're really just hitting us from all sides, and as an album, it doesn't quite make sense. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't some great songs on here. I really am finding myself connecting to some of the ones that I mentioned, and obviously other tracks as well. Wherever I Go was released as the lead single. It's been somewhat successful in the US, I mean, at least by OneRepublic standards, but it's got almost 150 million plays on their Spotify. A lot of people have been buzzing about it, and honestly, I did like the song at first, then I kind of fell out of favor with it, and then I found myself loving it once again. I love the drop on this one. There's a killer beat, and it's just great whenever you turn it up loud. It's easy to sing along with. What's worked for OneRepublic in the past has kind of been thrown out the window. They played off of more of a raw emotional feel, and whenever they try to channel that again here, it just doesn't feel as genuine or quite as real. The emotions are there, but they're not as at stake, I suppose, and as a result, it makes me not care about the album as much. I mean, just look at the closer, Heaven, and you see someone just torn by their lover, wanting to be with this person, want to be in paradise with them, and it just doesn't exactly give you the feeling of closing your eyes and taking you away like I felt with some of their songs in the past. They've done some beautiful arrangements, and I like that they mixed in kind of that classical edge as well with the cello and several other outside instruments. And here, it feels like it focuses more on the electronics, just building up to these big drops and just repeated choruses that just really don't stand out in my mind. I look at tracks like Dream, or some of these others that come later in the album, like Human, Lift Me Up, Neighborhood with Santa Gold. And I'm just thinking, scratching my head like, why do we just keep doing this over and over again? We're gonna build it up and then we're gonna drop it. I understand that that's popular and it could maybe get played on the radio, but I love the fact that some of their older songs just stood out in that regard, and they were getting played on the radio by having strong choruses instead of just having a cop-out. Even moments like the sincere Future Looks Good remind me of other things. Do you remember that song by Swedish House Mafia that came out a few years ago, Don't You Worry Child? Tell me that doesn't remind you of that. And I just feel like they're reusing, rehashing, and just following popular trends on a lot of this album. And I don't want you guys to think that I just totally want to pulverize this thing, tear it into the ground, because I love OneRepublic. I think they're one of my favorite pop bands in the mainstream, and I just don't want them to become what Maroon 5 did. And obviously I'm not saying that in the lyrical regard. They're never going to go that route. I can just tell, just from who they are as people, they're never going to go all moves like Jagger and This Summer's Gonna Hurt Like a Motherfucker on us, from the songs like Jane era to that. No, I don't think it's going to be any transition like that. It's just the fact that they have really pandered to the radio so much that I feel like they're losing themselves. And it's funny and ironic that they wrote a song, If I Lose Myself, and now I feel like they're kind of losing their identity, what made them unique in the first place. Let's talk about what I do like on this album, what works for me here. I do like that there's still a nice lyrical presence here. They just haven't totally thrown it out the window. There's still some connection that I can feel in that regard. I feel like there was effort put in. It's just that the music doesn't always line up nicely, and sometimes it leads just into a chorus that's absolutely nothing. Whenever I feel like it could have been something a lot more compelling, they just don't have it in that regard. It feels like they've lost a little bit of their knack there, but then they showcase it on other tunes to remind us that, hey, it's still here. We can still write these songs, because I see moments like Fingertips, just a chilling little ballad that just settles in as kind of a haunting, eerie moment. And then the catchy Kids, a great second single to follow up Wherever I Go. Both of those tunes, just a lot of fun. Kids might not be the best thing lyrically, but I like the kind of I don't know, the vocal thing going on in the background. It's kind of catchy in a weird way. I normally don't think I would like something like that, but I was drawn to this one. I'll commend the band for trying out some nuanced bass grooves on a couple of these tunes. Oh My, the title track, which features Cassius, and then of course once again on the song that I've mentioned a couple of times already, Dreams. I do like that song. The build up and the verses is pretty nice, but once again that chorus is just kind of overkill. And then the acoustic guitar, it just gets old and it feels like it's there for nothing but the fact that, oh, we're still a band. We have instruments, but it doesn't really add anything to the song. Born and Choke both have elements that I love about OneRepublic, things that have them feeling a lot more sincere and just down to earth. And with Choke in particular, I love seeing that orchestral arrangement. Of course, the choir coming in, just really selling the emotions, taking it to the roof, and just packing out everything that it can into one track. It's a powerhouse of a tune, easily one of my favorites here. And then I thought even better and Born, a nice little back-to-back combo that we get with tracks 8 and 9 here. It's just really a nice selling point for OneRepublic, reminding us that they can do it. They can put out stuff that's a little bit more mellow. It has new aspects, but at the same time it stays true to themselves. I really feel like this record is pretty forgettable. Honestly, it's really dragging its feet, especially in those last like 5 to 6 tunes. There's just not that much there that's engaging. But there is one more song I'm going to talk about before I go, just because I know you guys would love for me too. It was one that was buzzed about, and it features Peter Gabriel of Genesis, like I mentioned earlier in my review. The track is called AI, which stands for Artificial Intelligence. And I like that it's kind of talking about just love and everything feeling fake these days. And I definitely see that. I like that they're shedding some light on the subject. And it's not the deepest tune on this record or that they've ever done or just in general, but I am feeling a connection with the tune, especially the breakdown on this thing that just came out of nowhere, just kind of a glam rock synthy thing that just came out of left field. And it feels perfect for a track that features Peter Gabriel. His vocals sound nice on here. The dude is getting older, but he can still bring a presence to the track, and I love that OneRepublic recruited him. I just didn't see this one coming. I really can't give that much of a recommendation to Oh My. It's just not settling in that well, especially with repeated listens. I just find myself tiring of it quickly. But there are a few standout tunes. You can see my favorites and least favorites in the description down below, along with more information about this record. You can stream it for yourself at that link on Spotify. Me personally, I'm gonna go with a light 3 out of 5 for their new LP. If you've heard Oh My, let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section down below. Keep in mind this was all just my opinion, so let me know about yours tastefully and respectfully in the comment section. Don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel, because friends don't let friends go unsubscribed. You can find me at all of my social media over here at ARTV Reviews and other various things. They're all linked in the description as well. And if you would like to see a recent review that I did or my last OneRepublic review, you can check out those little annotations that are floating around down here. Thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you guys very soon right here on ARTV.